Pearson DriveRight 11th edition. Chapter 1, Lesson 4, Your Driver's License. The purpose of a comprehensive driver licensing program is to make sure only safe drivers are allowed on public roadways. Most licensing programs require applicants to take written, physical, and driving exams. Graduated Driver Licensing Program, or GDL. To help young drivers adjust to the driving task, many states have a graduated driver licensing program. The GDL program requires young drivers to progress through a series of licensing stages. Typically, these programs have 3 stages: learner's permit stage, intermediate stage, and a full privilege stage. Learner's permit stage, supervised conditions require that the learner receives a permit to drive when supervised by an adult licensed driver. The permit must be held for a minimum period, usually 6 months, of violation-free and collision-free driving. Other licensed drivers, such as family members, may be asked to provide a minimum number of hours of practice driving. Intermediate license stage. The learner drives under the following restrictions at this age. The learner must have successfully completed the learner's permit stage and an approved driver's education course. Supervised driving may be continued to meet the required hours. Night driving is restricted. Passengers can be limited in age and or number. The intermediate license must be held for at least 6 months of collision-free, violation-free driving. If the learner is involved in a collision or receives a violation, the intermediate license stage begins again from the time of the violation or collision. Penalties for violations are increased. Many times violators are required to go to traffic school. Full privilege license stage. To graduate to a full unrestricted license stage, the learner must successfully complete the intermediate license stage with no violations and no collisions. In some states, complete an advanced driver education course. There was opposition by states to a graduated driver's license program when it was first suggested in the 1970s. However, according to research done recently by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, graduated licensing programs have had positive effects on the crash experience of younger drivers in the United States and other countries, including Canada and New Zealand. In the U.S. states that have adopted elements of graduated licensing, the safety benefits are evident. Almost all studies have found crash reductions from about 10 to 30%. Driver education and your license. Quality driver education programs give you the opportunity to learn and practice the skills you need to be a safe, skilled, and responsible driver. Driver education can also alert you to some of the problems you might face while driving. The DriveRight Driver Education Program is your start toward becoming a responsible, low-risk driver. The program is based in part on the following key concepts. Driving is primarily a decision-making process. In this program, you will learn how to use the IPDE process and zone control to become a knowledgeable and skillful driver. Your driving will be greatly influenced by your maturity, emotions, and attitude toward responsibility. An awareness of the limiting factors for yourself and your vehicle will make you a low-risk driver. Drugs and alcohol will impair your ability to be a low-risk driver. Once you pass your driving education program, you should take at least 1 year to ease into full-time driving responsibilities. After you have driven under a wide variety of traffic situations and road conditions such as night driving and hazardous weather, you can begin to think for yourself as an accomplished new driver. No driving program can teach you everything you will need to know to be a safe driver. As long as you drive, you will need to improve your skills. Remember, the best drivers never stop learning. Organ donor program. You may indicate your desire to be an organ donor by filling out an organ donation declaration on your driver's license or by signing an organ donor card. The most important step is considering organ donation is discussing your decision with your family. Implied consent laws. All states have enacted the implied consent law. When you get your driver's license, you agree that if you are stopped for cause and charged with drinking and driving, you consent to having a police officer give you a test for the presence of alcohol. If you refuse to take this test, you will lose your license.